The question of the day is, how do you know if you're psychic? Everybody's psychic, okay? You just think you're not. And so you do not listen. How it works, it's like my head, it goes blank out of nowhere. And then I have knowledge. And it's not like words. It's not words. It's knowledge. It just flows through me. Now, my theory is that a higher form of consciousness blends with my soul in this body and comes forth. And sometimes they are blending with me and their soul is at the back and I'm speaking. Other times, those souls step forward and my soul steps back and they are speaking. And then there's something else that happens as well. There's the channeling part. That happens sometimes. Where a much higher soul enters me and speaks great wisdom. Things that are way above my pay grade, okay? I don't know these things. Like yesterday, I'm doing a reading at the park, and at one point, a higher soul blends with me, but stepped in front of my soul and starts talking about medical stuff. I have no way. I was like, and I stopped and I intervened and I said, look, I have no knowledge, no education, no medical training. Okay. But with your hip, I told her, I said, that's some sort of nerve damage and they can drill a little hole and put this little sack in there and then they fill it up. And she says, they already did that. I was like, they did? And she goes, it didn't work. I'm like, well, I didn't tell her one thing, which it had to do with her weight. Her weight, she was kind of heavy. I'm kind of heavy. She's a lot heavier than me. So her weight put too much pressure on that joint because it was in her hip. Anyway, I knew that, but I didn't come forward because she was really, seemed like she had, she didn't want to hear that part. She had another agenda. She had questions about her ex or whatever. So, but it's like I could see the little sack that goes in there and they fill it up. So it's not real big invasive and everything. But what happened is their body weight was too heavy and it popped that sack. That or they didn't really put it in the right place. It wasn't placed exactly correct. My eyes do this really weird thing when I am reading people. It's weird. I finally got a couple videos and I don't have any makeup on right now because I didn't. Oh, jeez. It's one of those days. Whatever. So, my eyes do this really weird thing. And when I'm reading somebody, they'll like look over their shoulder like, what's coming up on me? So now I got to where I'm like, I try to warn people like, look, my eyes do this weird thing when I'm reading people. Don't freak out. There's nobody sneaking up on you, all right? I'm just looking into a higher form of consciousness and bringing forth important information that you need to hear. So it's because they need to hear it, not because I want to tell it or not because they need to hear it. Because there's things set in motion and, there's always a reason for everything. So when I get information and I read people is because it's for the greater good that they have this information. For all souls involved, souls on the other side and souls that are here in the living. with a physical body because they're still living on the other side. I don't know how to explain that. People say, oh, he's dead. They're not dead, okay? They shed their body. There's a difference. They're not dead. They shed their body. Get it straight. They shed their physical body in the here and now. Does not mean they do not exist. There was no way I would be able to get the information that I get, okay? I couldn't do that. I couldn't ask somebody questions that no longer existed. Now could I? And get answers that I have no way of knowing. I mean, seriously, the other day was day before yesterday. Yesterday. During the day, I think it was. I was gonna go give plasma because I need some money, right? I ain't got any money, so go give some plasma or something. And this guy sits down beside me. I was like, okay, this may seem weird, but so did your father walk around with his hands in his pocket all the time when he was alive? He says he's dead. I said, well, I just said that. He's like, yeah, he did. He always walked with his hands in his pockets. I said, yeah, well, he's with you. And blah, 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 and proceeded to deliver a message for him. And the guy's just like, it meant a lot to him to hear from his father. It means a lot to people so that it seems like I think the reason why there are so many psychics right now is because most of us have lost hope. We think in the physical, here and now, what we can get our greedy little hands on, what we can possess, what we can own, what we look like. When beauty is something that comes from within. You got an ugly soul. You got a vicious soul. You don't have a good soul. You don't have good thought processes. Look, I can see it. You're ugly. Your physical body has nothing to do with the beautiful soul that you are. That is the most important message every single person on the planet should know. And that when you shed your physical body, some people leave early. They leave early because they can do greater good from there than they can from here. If you want to stay here longer, you need to do a service for all of mankind, for us other people, for other souls involved in your journey here. You need to do right by people. If you don't, then you're going to have to leave early and try again. Some souls leave early because they can do a greater good guarding your soul. And that is what they're doing. In this time, during this time of our transition, where we are rising so quickly, we are become. What is with my hair? You guys see that? I mean, like, something needs to. Oh, there's a plan. Oh, I got it. I'm gonna fix it. That didn't help. It made it worse. Okay. I forgot what I said. I'm going to have to start another video now. I'm having a hair day. Gotta love it.